I am Midshipman Campos Lance J, and this is my idea on Marpol Annex 3. Marpol Annex 3 is a regulation designed to prevent pollution from harmful substances carried in package form on ships. It sets rules for the transportation of these substances, including proper labeling, documentation, and safe handling. The goal is to minimize the risk of accidents and spills that could harm the marine environment. There are key points in addressing Annex 3. First, we have the harmful substances, packaging and labeling, documentation, stowage and handling, emergency procedures, and compliance and enforcement. Overall, Annex 3 aims to enhance safety and environmental protection in maritime transport of harmful substances.
What is Marpol Annex 3? Ang pagkaintindi ko sa Marpol Annex 3 is nagpe-prevent ng mga hazardous materials na kailangan masiguradong kaligtasan o kapakanan ng karagatan.
So what is Marpol Annex 3? Marpol Annex 3 is all about an international regulation under the Marpol Convention that focuses on preventing pollution by harmful substances carried by the ships in package form. In relation to hazardous materials, some examples of this are Class 1, explosives, Class 2, gases, Class 3, flammable liquids and combustible liquids. And the other examples will be discussed further by my teammates.
I am Midshipman Cruz 3 si Mac Allen S, and this is my idea on what is Marpol Annex 3. Marpol Annex 3 is part of the International Convention for the Prevention of Pollution from Ships, focusing on preventing pollution by harmful substances carried at sea in package form. It establishes requirements for the safe packaging, marking, labeling, documentation, and stowage of these substances. The annex ensures that the packages are properly marked and accompanied by documentation to reduce risks. Its main goal is to prevent pollution by regulating the transport of harmful substances and materials.
I am Midshipwoman Antonio Ashley, and this is my own explanation what is Marpol Annex 3. Marpol Annex 3 is all about sa mga hazardous substances sa barko. Basically, ang layunin nito ay i-regulate ang pag-release ng mga dangerous cargo sa dagat. Kailangan ng mga ship na may proper labeling at documentation para malaman kung ano ang mga substances na kanilang dala.
I am Midshipman Mier, and this is my idea on what is Marpol Annex 3. Marpol Annex 3 is an international agreement that focuses on preventing pollution from ships by controlling the discharge of harmful substances in package form. It sets rules for the transportation of dangerous goods to ensure they are safely handled and managed on ships. This includes labeling, documentation, and proper stowage of these materials to protect the environment and human health. The main goal is to reduce the risk of spills and accidents at sea.
So all of our answers point out to what is Annex 3. Let's have the significance and the overview of what is this. Annex 3, or also known as the prevention of pollution by harmful substances carried at sea in package form, was entered into force in July 1, 1992. This contains general requirements for the issuing of detailed standards on packing, marking, labeling, documentation, stowage, and many more. The significance of Annex 3 is it regulates the safe handling, packaging, and documentation of hazardous materials to prevent accidental releases during transport. It aims to protect the marine environment from pollution caused by harmful substances which could have severe ecological and health impacts. Let's have the overview of the topics that needs to be discussed. Number 1, the purposes of Annex 3, followed by the definition of terms. This is to clarify key terms and concepts used in the regulation. Understanding this definition is essential for correctly identifying hazardous materials and complying with the specific requirements for their transportation. The IMDG code. These are important because it serves as a primary reference for the safe transport of dangerous goods by sea and is crucial for the safety of ships, crews, and the environment. Followed by the IMDG code Volume 1 and Volume 2, then supplements. This provides additional guidelines and information on special cases or supplementary measures. And relation of the IMDG code to Annex 3. Then last but not the least is the 9 classes of hazardous materials. Each class has specific handling, stowage, and segregation requirements to ensure safe transport. Knowing the classification helps prevent accidents and ensures appropriate emergency responses in case of an incident.
And now we can go to Annex 3 purposes. Prevent pollution. Ang Annex 3 is nagpe-prevent ng mga different pollution na tulad ng mga air, greenhouse effect, and can also limit or spills and damage to marine life. Ang halimbawa nito is mga sea creature tulad ng dolphins, whales, and coral reefs. And we can go to regulate packaging. Ensure proper packaging standard for harmful substances is kailangan dito is mapak ng tama ang mga ito para maiwasan ang disgrasya na pwedeng magresulta o magdulot ng leaks or spills na pwedeng magdulot ng pollution sa dagat. And ensuring marking and labeling. Mandate clear marking and labeling of harmful substances for identification. So dito is malalaman natin yung kung paano ginagawang pag-segregate sa mga ito. And kung anong types ng hazardous materials ang ginamit dito. Ito ba isang explosive gases, poison, or marami pang iba?
Purposes. Documentation requirements. Upang masigurado na ang pagkolekta o maayos na ang mga dokumento, kailangan may kumpletong records at papeles ang barko para malaman kung ano ang laman, gaano karami, at saan ito nakaimbak. Mahalaga ito para sa kaligtasan at para rin sa mga inspection. Stowage regulation. Para mag-set ng guidelines for safe stowage of harmful substances on board ship, may mga gabay kung saan at paano dapat ilagay ang mga ito upang maiwasan ang aksidente o kontaminasyon habang nasa biyahe.
Limit of quantities. The purpose of Marpol Annex 3 ay i-regulate ang mga hazardous substances na dala ng mga barko. May mga limitation ito sa quantities na hazardous chemical na pwedeng i-ship para maiwasan ang overloading. It is very crucial para maiwasan ang pollution and to protect the marine environment. Kung masusunod ang mga limits na ito, mababawasan ang panganib ng spill and leaks na nakaka-help sa kalikasan at sa health ng mga tao. Align with the IMDG code. IMDG code or International Maritime Dangerous Goods Code is a set of guidelines para sa ligtas na transportasyon ng mga dangerous good. It is provide more on regulation para mapabuti ang pag-handle ng transportasyon ng mga hazardous chemical. The code of help to prevent the accident and pollution of the maritime safety.
So next topic we'll be going to discuss is definition of terms. So under the Marpol Annex 3, there are 7 words or sentences that needs to define. Number 1 is Marpol Annex 3, or also known as Marine Pollution Annex 3, refers to the regulations that prevent pollution from harmful substances transported by sea in a package form. Number 2 is chemicals carried in package form. So these are hazardous substances that are transported in a containers or other types of packaging rather than a bulk. Number 3 is SOLAS Chapter 7. SOLAS Chapter 7, or also known as Safety of Life at Sea, is a carriage of dangerous goods, outlines safety rules for safe transport of dangerous goods to ensure safe handling and safe storage. Number 4 is harmful substances. So harmful substances are marine pollutants defined in the IMDG code. This pose a risk of marine environment, also in marine life and other environment surroundings. Number 5 is International Maritime Dangerous Goods, or known as the IMDG code, is a set of guidelines developed to ensure the safe transport of a dangerous goods by sea or in ocean. Number 6 is packing, marking, labeling, and documentation. So these words are important because it is related to how responsibilities or how we work on board ship. So these are containing, identifying, and recording information about what type of dangerous goods it is. So number 7 is stowage. Stowage is the proper arrangement and securing of dangerous goods on a ship to prevent accidents during transport.
What is IMDG code? The IMDG code is the International Maritime Dangerous Goods Code. Is a set of regulations developed by the International Maritime Organization (IMO) to ensure the safe transportation of dangerous goods by sea. It provides standardized guidelines on packing, labeling, documentation, and stowage of hazardous materials to prevent accidents, spills, or other incidents that could endanger the crew, ship, environment, and coastal communities. The IMDG code consists of 2 main volumes, each serving a specific purpose in the transportation of dangerous goods by sea. Volume 1. Volume 1 of IMDG code covers general guidelines, definitions, and rules for transporting dangerous goods by sea. Its key sections include: first, general provision definition. This section explains the scope of applicability and the key definition of terms used throughout the code. Second, the classification. Detailed criteria for classifying dangerous goods into hazard classes and divisions are found here. It outlines how different types of dangerous goods are identified, such as explosive, gases, flammable, liquids, and toxic substances. Third, packaging and tank provisions. Guidelines on packaging materials and methods are outlined to ensure goods are packed safely for sea transport. Fourth, consignment procedures. Instructions, documentation, marking, labeling, and placarding requirement for dangerous goods are given to maintain consistency and transparency across international shipments. Volume 2. Volume 2 of IMDG code provides specific details for identifying and handling individual substances and goods. It is more operational in focus, and it is contained by: first, Dangerous Goods List or DGL. This list, which is the main part of Volume 2, includes thousands of substances, materials, and articles classified as dangerous goods. Each entry contains information on the UN number, proper shipping name, hazard class, and packing group. Second, Special Provisions. These provisions give extra instructions for the specific types of dangerous goods, such as restrictions on certain packaging types or compatibility with other goods. Third, Limited and accepted quantities. Guidelines for handling smaller quantities of dangerous goods, including reduced packaging and labeling requirement for certain goods that pose lower risk in small amounts. Fourth, EMS or Emergency Response. Guide provides emergency response guidance for handling dangerous goods incidents, including fire, spillage, and medical response. Medical response recommendations. Together, Volume 1 and Volume 2 provide comprehensive rules for safely handling, packaging, labeling, and transporting dangerous goods by sea, with Volume 1 covering general principles and Volume 2 focusing on the specific substances.
The IMDG Code Supplement 1.2 provides additional safety guidelines for transporting hazardous goods by sea. It includes instructions for handling fire, spills, medical emergency involving dangerous materials. Specific rules cover radioactive materials, transport, and reporting accident. This supplement ensures complete procedures for safe maritime transport of dangerous goods. So, ang pinaka-meaning po ng IMDG Code Supplement 1.2 is to karagdagang safety guidelines po sa pagtatransport ng mga hazardous goods by sea. And para na rin matuto tayo kung paano natin i-handle in case of emergency or accident na mangyari sa barko. The IMDG Code is closely related to Annex 3 of the Marpol Convention 3. Sets regulations to prevent marine pollution by harmful substances transported in package forms. So, the IMDG Code provides the detailed guidelines for classifying packaging, labeling, and stowing dangerous goods, ensuring compliance with the Annex 3. So, in simple terms, Annex 3 outlines the rules to prevent pollution, while the IMDG Code explains how to implement those rules during the maritime transport. So, bale, closely related sila because yung IMDG Code is the one that provides guidelines para mag-comply tayo para masunod natin yung mga rules na dapat natin sundin in order to prevent pollution by harmful substances. So now, let's move on to the different classes of the IMDG code. So the first one is the class 1, which means explosive. It involves all substances that have significant risks for explosion. So lahat po ng mga substances na maaaring sumabog are under siya sa class 1. So meron tayong different divisions sa class na to. For example, Division 1.1, it covers mass explosions like TNT and dynamite. And then Division 1.2, ito yung mga projectiles like fireworks that have significant projecting explosion. And then the next one is Division 1.4, which involves ammunition, small firearms, and are likely to cause minor explosions. So let's move on to class number 2, gases. So these are materials that are compressed, liquefied, and dissolved under pressure. So meron ulit tayong tatlong division pagdating sa gases. So Division 1.1 involves yung mga flammable gases like propane, butane, mga madadaling magapoy. And then Division 2.2 covers which are non-flammable, non-toxic gases like oxygen, nitrogen. And then the last division is Division 2.3, involves toxic gases like chlorine and ammonia.
Class 3, Flammable Liquid and Combustible Liquid. Flammable liquids that have a flash point below 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 37.8 degrees Celsius. Examples include gasoline, acetone, and ethanol. Combustible liquids with a flash point at or above 100 degrees Fahrenheit but below 200 degrees Fahrenheit or 93.4 degrees Celsius. Example, include diesel, fuel, and some oils. Hazards. These materials can easily ignite and cause fires, posing risks during storage, transport, and handling. Class 4. Flammable, solid, spontaneously combustible, and dangerous when wet. Flammable solids are solid materials that can ignite through friction, moisture, or chemical reactions. Examples include certain metal, powders, and sulfur. Spontaneously combustible material substances that can ignite without an external heat source due to self-heating. Example include certain organic peroxides and phosphorus. Dangerous when wet. This is the materials that react with flammable gases. An example is sodium. Hazards. These materials can catch fires easily, may burn fiercely, and can release toxic gases when wet, presenting unique challenges in handling and storage. Understanding these classifications helps ensure proper safety measures and response strategies.
Class number 5. Oxidizers and organic peroxides. These are materials that can cause or contribute to the combustion of other substances. Oxidizers can supply oxygen for combustion, while organic peroxides are sensitive to heat, shock, and friction. Examples of this are hydrogen peroxide, potassium permanganate, calcium hypochlorite. Class number 6 is poison toxic and poison inhalation hazard. So these type of materials can harmful to health if inhaled or ingested or contacted with skin. These are toxic substances that can cause serious health issues or death. Infectious substances contains pathogens. Examples of this are pesticides, medical waste, anthrax bacteria, and cyanide.
9 classes hazardous materials, class 7 radioactive. Mga types natin is mga substances na naglalabas ng ionizing radiation, like mga materialis na may hindi matatag na atomic nuclei na naglalabas ng enerhiya na can be harmful sa mga living organism. Mga example nito is mga uranium, plutonium at ang radiopharmaceuticals.
Class 8. Corrosive. Corrosive substances are the chemicals that can cause damage to the skin and eyes. Example, yung mga acid tulad ng sulfuric acid and hydrochloric acid, kapag hindi ito na-handle ng tama, pwedeng mag-leak and mag-cause ng serious damage not just to the people but also the environment. That why important to know how to handle and store these substances safety and to prevent accident. Dapat may proper labeling and proper gear to work with the corrosive material.
Miscellaneous dangerous. Ito ay ibang klase ng hazardous materials na di nabibilang sa anumang kategorya. Kasama dito ang iba't ibang substances. Mapanganib ito kapag inilipat o tinransport at hindi ito sakop ng classes 1 to 8. Examples: lithium batteries, asbestos, and dry ice.
Did you know pollution happens when harmful things are added to our environment? There are different types of pollution, like water, land, and air pollution. Water pollution happens when harmful things like trash, sewage, or chemicals are added to our rivers, lakes, and oceans. This can hurt the fish, frogs, and other living things that live in the water. Some of them might not be able to survive if the water is too polluted. Can you think of some ways people can cause water pollution? Land pollution happens when harmful things are added to the land. When people litter or dump waste, it can hurt the soil and the animals that live there. Then there's air pollution. This happens when we burn rubbish or when smoke comes out from cars and factories. This kind of pollution can make the air dirty and can be harmful to us and other living things. Now, can you think of some things we can do to stop land and air pollution? Remember, every little bit helps when it comes to taking care of our planet.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Module 4, Marking and Labeling. All dangerous goods are normally labeled in some way to ensure safe transportation. You will encounter two types of labels for dangerous goods: hazard labels or handling labels. Hazard labels alert you to risks involved in handling the dangerous good. The label is diamond-shaped and may have additional labels depending on the class of the dangerous good. You may encounter a dangerous good with two types of hazard labels. This is normal and usually means there is a primary and subsidiary hazard class for this product. At times, you may see multiple labels on a dangerous good. These are known as primary and subsidiary placards. Subsidiary placards are required for materials with a poison inhalation subsidiary hazard, uranium hexafluoride, which requires, under certain conditions, corrosive placards in addition to the radioactive placards, and materials with a dangerous when wet subsidiary hazard. Handling labels tell you how to handle the dangerous good or provides cautionary statements. Examples of handling labels are shown on this slide. Here are some examples of what a handling label might look like on a ULD. In this module, you learned about the different types of labels you will encounter when dealing with dangerous goods. When you are ready to be tested on what you have just learned, please continue to the quiz.
Oh,